think it was about 10 or 11 years old when that came through Moree. And there's a pretty prominent group of people, black and white, that travel on the bus with Charles. And he brought his bus down the Mission, and a busload of us kids got on the bus and went up to the pool with him. Us kids didn't get much access to town in general besides school. It was pretty daunting, pretty scary. I remember standing beside my dad and hanging onto his pants because there was an angry crowd across the street, being pretty vicious, pretty racist, and some of the comments they made were unbelievable. I got scared to the point where I said, "I want to go home, Dad," and he said, "No, you'll be safe," because I knew he was my protector. There was a lot of pride that the community stood their ground, and we stood behind the students, and the students were great.
All the town, they heard this bus was coming to town, and Charlie Perkins, the famous soccer player. A lot of people were around, and it was just lovely to see the students fighting for Aboriginal rights in Walgett, and their journey onwards through to the other towns. It was important because it opened up the RSL to the returned soldiers that wasn't allowed to go in there. They were allowed to march, but they'd only have to march up to the RSL, and then they were dismissed, and they could not go in to have their lunch or join in the celebrations at Anzac Day, and that all changed.
I think it gave us the courage to start challenging processes because, whatever was thrown at us, we just accepted it, and that's the way it is. But we found out late in life that, no, we need to make change, and change has been made in a positive without the Tent Embassy, without a lot of our advocates, our old people, who fought to get a referendum in the first place.
My deeper objective was for Aboriginal people to realise, hey, listen, second class is not good enough, You don't have to always be first class, but don't always be second class. And don't cop shit, when you don't have to. And you don't have to live on riverbanks and in shanty huts and the end of a road where there's rubbish tip. Live in town. And you don't have to cop these white men sneaking around pinching Aboriginal women at night, Sitting down the front of picture theatres, not being able to sit in a restaurant. We nobody allow you as an Aborigine to sit in a restaurant. That's not on. And, and the timing was right. If I didn't do it, somebody else would have done it, and other people have done it in a different way.